I have to leave my life behind. So, I've been doing like a lot of research, man. A lot of research. And basically, I've seen all of these fighters fight at least once. But I want to make sure that I watch at least as many of these fighters fights as I can. So normally what I do is I just search through the web. What I can't find on YouTube, I find on the internet. You know, sometimes you have to venture to the dark web to watch some of these fights. Don't go to the dark web. You know, you don't want to go there. You know, so in this case, Jamie Cox has a good amount or a good portion of fights out there to watch. If I'm correct, he is an Eddie Hearn fighter, right? He'll be taking on George Groves, and as you know, me and George Groves, or if you don't know, we have a little bit of a history. I like George Groves as a fighter. I cover every single one of his fights. It's crazy, and yet, you know, he can be a bit of a dandy sometimes. You know, that's an old timey like old term. But at the same time, you know, you have to respect him because he is good and he's always in like meaningful fights. And his fights are always suspenseful because you be thinking like, oh man, George Groves is getting tagged up with some shit. Or oh man, George Groves is slowing down. You know, he gasses out later on in fights. He's 26-3 with 19 KOs. He's 29 years old. By the way, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. After multiple attempts, he finally got a championship. You know, the WBA Super, he has a Super World Championship at 168 pounds, correct? You know, so he is the champion for the WBA. Remember, he fought Martin Murray, you know, in his last big fight. The last guy he fought, Edward Guknik. I hope that he's all right because the last I heard of him, he was still in a coma. You know, and then before that, basically, he just been fighting like, you know, like stay busy fights to, you know, get to that title shot. Because the last time he had a title shot was against Badu Jack on the undercard of Mayweather versus Berto in a fight where he was the favorite to win and he lost. You know, then of course we know what happened with the Cole Fraud situation. People thought the first time was the fluke and that it was an early stoppage, and then the second time called Cobra Frats put him to sleep. You know, and then that's around the time where okay, I did a video on another channel that is non-existent now, where I went like viral a little bit because you know I'm a Carl Froch fan. It's different now though. Then I was a fan. Now I'm a media member, so I don't handle things like that anymore. So long story short, I went on there and I was talking all this shit about George Groves. I crucified him. I crucified the saint. Then he goes and blocked me on Twitter, and then we've been really close to like settling like a very delicate truce, and but we were getting there. You know, eventually I'm going to have to meet him, and I'm like, well, Mr. Groves, hey, can you unblock me on Twitter? Some shit like that. So, George Groves is fighting Jamie Cox on I was gonna say the undercard in the World Boxing Super Series tournament. Now I have to do a whole long video about what this tournament actually is. Actually, I did a couple of them, and I have some promos on the channel, but they it's so far back ago when it was announced. So I'm going to be covering every fight, every round, you know, and possibly flying out to the finals, wherever the finals are going to be. Possibly flying out to the finals, which are supposed to take place in May or June. Or, no, excuse me, May and June. So there's 3 rounds to this World Boxing Super Series, and the winner of this tournament will not only be the WBC Diamond Champion, meaning that the winner of the tournament between the 168-pound division and the Cruiserweight division, you know, they're going to be WBC mandatories. Also, there's $25 million for each division, to spread across each tournament, to split between 8 fighters. What's that? 4, 5, 6. $50 million to split between 16 fighters, 14 fights, 3 rounds each. I'm confused myself. 3 rounds each division. So $50 million, right? Split across 8 9, 10, 11, 12. Damn it, I confused myself. But you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying, right? So, it's not a bullshit tournament. It involves champions of the 168-pound division. It involves champions of the 199, 200-pound division. So which means that it's going to be an undisputed champion for, what is it again? It's going to be an undisputed champion for the cruiserweight division and a unified champion, WBC and WBA, for and the highly coveted and lucrative, IBO title. Gilberto Ramirez is not in the tournament. James DeGale, because of injury, is not in the tournament. The winner of Chris Eubank Jr. versus Arthur Abraham will be in the tournament. So that's a whole different video. But let's talk about Jamie Cox a little bit. Bit of a hothead, you know, in and outside of the ring. You know, he will hit you low. He'll hit you in the back of your head and everything like that. You know, come in, lean in with his head. He's gotten a lot better, but, you know, he's one of those type of fighters where he's always, as we call it here in the States, on go. So therefore, it was like some shit pop off. He's like, what? Let's throw the fuck down right now. Smash a bottle on the table. Like, I'm ready. You know? Like one of those type of guys. But now he's in a life-changing situation. This is a big-ass tournament. A tournament like this should change your fucking life. Because doing the math with $25 million spread across, you know, just what, 8 fighters? And even we do know that, you know, the last round is going to be for the Muhammad Ali trophy. And that's a nice-ass trophy, too. All gold. And for that big purse, which could be somewhere between $5 to $10 million to spend, depending on how they break that shit up. So that's some life-changing shit. That's some shit that should keep your ass in the fucking gym. Also, the schedule is a bit of a grueling one for the fighters because they fight in September. Then, you know, they fight again, what, like 2 months, like every 2 months, basically. You know, but either way, you know, get that money. Also, you know, I know they have things in place in case any injuries or things like that happen. I know they do. You know, so George Groves versus Jamie Cox is a big fight because, you know, Jamie Cox is going to be right there to fight. You see what I'm saying? He's like, if I was to say, like a David Lemieux-ish type of fighter, that's who he will remind you of. You know, so he's not going to be in there trying to box. So this is going to be a big fight, you know, and we're going to go through each and every fight for the tournament. So whenever you see Wbss before the title of the video, we're going to talk about each and every fight. You know, we're going to do a preview, a prediction for each and every fight. And we're going to cover each and every fight. TstreeT Controversy Live.